Soccer is a big part of my life. Like any other teenage boy in Barranquilla, I dedicate a lot of my free time to playing the sport I play in school, at the club, and also in public fields where tournaments are less serious. Since I was little, it was normal for me to play soccer with my school friends, which are basically the same friends I have at the club. We have grown up playing football and we all feel that same feeling, that is, every time I hear a ball bounce and smell the strong herbal scent of the recently cut grass, that's when I feel in heaven. As I became a teenager, I became obsessed with soccer, and I don't only play but also watch all the famous leagues of the world on TV. Anyways, about a year ago, I decided to organize a tournament to play with my friends and invite other people that might make up good teams. I chose a public field that is near my house called La Masia. It's about 3 blocks from my house and it seemed close to everybody else's. It's the kind of place where the field is rented for an hour and any kind of person from any part of the city that has the money to pay the fee could enter. What I also like about that field is that while you play, there are trees making you feel a fresh breeze going against your face that makes one forget the extremely hot temperature of Barranquilla. I also loved about the Masia that after every game I would buy a chuzo they sell next to the field. It is the juiciest, most delicious chuzo I had ever tried, and the only thing I wanted to feel in my tongue after playing a game was the soft, grilled flavor of beef and chicken. My friends and I had a number of games and we were not really winning a lot, but we had a good time. After some time, we decided to retire from the tournament. One day long after that, my cousin called me and asked me to play for a team he had joined. They had registered for a competition. Guess where? Yes, in La Masia. I said, okay, right away, because I didn't have any other current cups going on. The first day I went to play with them was a Thursday in the afternoon after a rainy day. Everything was wet, the field had puddles, but we didn't care. Neither did the opposing team. As I played in the game, I felt good, but I noticed there were too many infractions being committed by the other team. I also noticed a certain tension in the air. Maybe because we didn't know them, maybe because we didn't like them. They were teenage boys just like us, but they were different. They seemed to be from a faraway neighborhood because the words they used were not the kind my friends and I would use. It's not that I'm saying we are very kind and polite. No, we often have a dirty mouth, but these guys had a different accent and spoke words that seemed out of this world. They were what my friends and I would call a coleto. Even though there's good and bad people in every neighborhood, coletos have the fame of being rude, violent, and daring. However, even though I knew this, I usually had a bit of anger management problem and began to feel very angry when too many infractions were being passed by and the referee just seemed to turn his head the other way. The other team was made up of rude players. They played hard. There was a lot of fouling going on, but to our advantage, those fouls gave us the opportunity of scoring really quick. I scored a goal after the first penalty put to our team. Their heads seemed to be burning because smoke came out of their nose. Then, about 5 minutes later, there was another foul inside the box that meant a penalty in our favor. Oh, did those guys seem angry? They were really gonna explode now. I scored a goal again and we were ahead on the numbers. Next thing I knew, the opposition scored back-to-back goals and we were tied. It was necessary to go for the next one. In a quick counterattack, I went past two players which attempted to foul me, but they couldn't. And then when I was going to almost lose the ball, I launched a long ball to my cousin. He dominated the ball. He didn't even think about it. He just looked at the goalkeeper and chipped the ball to the back of the net. What an amazing goal that was. From then on, we just tried to waste time. We had the objective of not letting the other team go near our goalkeeper. The opposing team was awarded a corner kick, but my cousin didn't want to pass the ball to them. Like a wave reaching for the shore, a really big guy from the other team came rushing towards my cousin and pushed him. Adrenaline flowed through my veins and I was about to explode. And I did. Insults were coming out of my mouth like vomit when you're sick from the stomach. The referee stopped the game. Insulting words were flowing in the air. I felt fear at a point because I had never really been in a street fight. The guy I was insulting suddenly ended up having too many friends, which all screamed to me saying things like, "Go to El Barrio Rebolo and we will have your ass kicked." I didn't even know where that was, but it seemed far and dangerous. Some days after, my dad told me it certainly was one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Barranquilla, besides of course, not letting me out of the house without a guard. Those guys seemed serious. The one I began fighting with was tall. He has spiky hair and didn't look like he felt uneasy. I called my father and literally said, "Dad, come rescue him. Come rescue me. They're gonna beat me up." Even though my dad argues he was there like in 10 minutes, I felt it took eternity. My stomach hurt. My skin was pale and I kept insulting to appear strong. What really went on inside was a total different deal. Dad didn't get there alone. My uncle was there right after him. Apparently my cousin had also called his father and I wasn't the only one scared after all. There was such tension in the air that all I wanted to do was disappear from that place. My father began taking pictures of the guys with his cell phone and they got really angry. They screamed things like, "Who do you think you are? You feel safe because you're in your territory now. Come to our side and see what some beating is." We just got in the car and drove off. My heart was pounding hard, but as usual I just laughed about things to feel better. I thought going home was the best thing that could happen to me at that moment. My dad had other plans. He said, "We're going to press charges right now." I didn't believe what I was hearing, but it was the right thing to do. Even though I know insults began on my side, I shouldn't have unleashed my anger. Those guys threatened us. It seemed real. They seemed serious, and in the bottom of my heart, I feared ever going back to La Masia. A year after, I can say I've been back there like 3 times in the last few months. I never saw those guys again. But one thing that never left my mind from that day on is you never know who you meet out there.